Just taking it back to day one right here. Dr. Frank R. Wallace. I remember back when I was like 21, 22, 23. Like Frank was giving Los all the game. Like Frank was giving me all the juice. And like, Carlos, don't do it like that. You should do it like this. Like, Frank was always giving me the heads up. It was like a, what you call that? It was like an internship. I remember, this is like 2001. I went over my boy crib. I had like hundreds of letters, hundreds of envelopes and stamps. And me and T, we was up all night, like, getting his mail together. Because back then, it wasn't no social media. And, the major, book publishing companies didn't want to sell his books. His books, it was too controversial. So he was a self-publisher. So, back in the, early 2000s, mail order was like, where the money was at. That's where he was making his money. So, we didn't mail out the letters. So basically the letters are just explaining like Neotech, and if the people wanted to order the book, what I'm saying, they had to respond, through the mail. So like I say, it wasn't no social media. Like now you just go on Amazon and all that. Back then it wasn't no Amazon. And that's how, like I said, it was like an internship. Thing with Frank, like if you go back to 1957, well, with him started in 1957 and all through the 60s. He worked at this company called DuPont. Now DuPont was basically like a science laboratory, and they made different chemicals. That's what they specialized in. They was making different chemicals. And he was a research chemist. That's what he had a PhD in. He was a researcher with chemistry. So later on through the years, he started writing editorials, and he started publishing like his editorials, in different magazines and stuff. But let me tell y'all about his writing. With most people, if I give you a pen and paper and tell you to start writing, most of y'all are gonna go to the upper left and write from left to right and just, go straight down. That's what most people do. With Frank, it was totally different. You give him a pen and paper. He start from the bottom right, and he'll write from the right to the left, going up like this. He was a mirror writer. So like a E will look like, is like, y'all know what mirror writing is, it's like all the letters is backwards. I never seen nothing like it in my life. I mean, you hear about it. I mean, you read about it, but to actually see it, it's like, I never seen nothing like it. So, the 70s roll around, and he wrote a book on poker, and it ended up being the best-selling poker book of all time. I forgot the name of the book. I got it upstairs somewhere. And he became a professional poker player, to the point he was banned from all the casinos in Vegas. He wasn't allowed in any casinos in Vegas. That's how good he got with poker. So we dealing with a dude that was a scientist and a professional poker player that was banned from the Vegas casinos. So after this happened, he started working on this book called The Neotech Discovery. Now, this is all in the 70s, and this is before Sophia Stewart, the owner, creator of The Matrix and Terminator. Yeah, this is before that. And I love Sophia Stewart. I mean, I got her number on my phone. I mean, we done talked many times. But this goes back to like the 70s. Neo and the Matrix and all that. Frank was talking about that in the 70s. Now, the Neotech Discovery is a branch of psychology. It's like a new branch of knowledge. That's what Neotech means. It's just a new branch of knowledge. I know when people hear the word technology, they think of like an object or something, but technology, it could just be knowledge, like a set of, new knowledge. That's all it means. So, like I say, none of the, publishing companies, they wanted nothing to do with Frank. Now, at this point, the government, caught wind of it. So, they started, watching Frank. Okay, this guy was working at DuPont. I'm saying? Now he's banned from the casinos in Vegas. Now he got this book, the Neotech Discovery. And, so they watching him. Then in 1986, his office, his publishing office got raided by the government. So, they came through with the guns. He said there was 16 of them, like 16 federal agents. They had guns. Put everybody on the floor, confiscated all the material. So they took all the computers. They took all the like the VHS tapes, cassette tapes, all the paperwork. Everything that was in the file cabinet. Like they took everything. Everything was under investigation. And was, make it crazy, he actually had to go to court. And he actually did some prison time. So, of course, they couldn't get him, with the freedom of speech. But they got him with taxes. They had to nitpick with something. So, it was something with his taxes. And that's how they was able to get him. I forgot how much time, he did in prison. But once he came out of prison, he continued, writing books. Let's see what we got here. Neotech Discovery. Yeah, I'm just reading these text messages that I'm getting. I get text messages all day, every day. But yeah, Frank, like I say, Frank, when I was younger, Frank, put me up on game as far as a writer and just dealing with business. So I remember this was 2006. He was out jogging. He was just out jogging. He used to tell me like, Carlos, jogging is, great for the mind. It's great to jog. It's good exercise for the brain. And he was out jogging. And just out of nowhere, a car just drove into him, hit him, and killed him on the spot. He was 73 years old. Yeah. And I had my suspicions with that. Because for years, he was going back and forth with the government. And there'd been attempts on his life before. Just for the books he was putting out. A lot of people talk shit now. Like, that's like kind of, normal these days because being an information age. But, you was putting out this type of content back in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and even the early 2000s. I caught the end of it, like the early 2000s. I seen how the government was like up close on that level, Like I remember the temple I was going to, like, yeah, the feds came in and the temple got raided like a trap house. And they just started taking computers out, laptops and CDs, like they was taking everything. Yeah. So I caught the end of it. I remember that. And yeah, back in his day, yeah, they will come and kill you. Like your life was on the line, if you put yourself out there like that. So it's almost like they down there erased Frank out of history, pretty much. Like if you Google him, it's like very little information. I think he got like 2 pictures up on the internet. He does have a Wikipedia, but even that is like really small. I mean, you'll find some stuff on Neotech because, other writers have adapted like Neotech and, you know what I'm saying? So you'll see Neotech out there, but as far as like Frank himself, you're not going to really see that much information about Frank. It just is very little. They pretty much almost like erased him from out of history. It's very little. So like, let me go on and do this video on Frank, you know what I'm saying? Because, Frank was like one of the guys that like really opened the door for me, you know what I'm saying? When I was young in the game, man,